Welcome to the Non-Residential Lighting Manual Area Controls video, where you'll learn about requirements in California's Building Energy Efficiency Standards, also known as the Energy Code. We'll discuss manual area control technologies, the mandatory requirements for these controls, and the necessary forms to show that the project complies with the Energy Code. First, what are manual area controls? Manual area controls are another name for manual on-off lighting controls, and they form the primary lighting control layer in any building. They can be an on-off toggle switch, a slide dimmer that includes full off, or a bank of manual area control buttons that operate multiple zones of lighting in a space. Now that we know how manual area controls are defined, let's discuss the specific requirements for indoor manual area controls. All luminaires in an area enclosed by ceiling height partitions must be independently controlled from luminaires in other areas. And some types of lighting must also be independently controlled, even if they occupy the same space. These include general lighting, floor display, wall display, window display, case display, ornamental, and special effects lighting. In projects where other types of lighting controls are installed, they must not override the manual area controls functionality, as occupants should always be able to manually turn their lighting on and off. For most space types, the manual area controls must be readily accessible to building occupants and be located in the same room or area as the lighting they control. There are 3 exceptions to this based on space type. Number 1. In areas where placement of the manual area control poses a health and safety hazard, the lighting control may be located where the occupant using it can either see the lights or area controlled, or so that the area being lit is visually signaled. Number 2. In multi-stall public restrooms, parking areas, stairwells, and corridors, the manual area controls may be located where they're accessible to authorized personnel only. And number 3. In restrooms and bathing rooms intended for a single occupant in healthcare facilities, the lighting control may be located outside the enclosed area, as long as it's directly adjacent to the door. It's important to remember that the Energy Code allows up to 0.2 watts per square foot of lighting to be continuously illuminated during occupied times to allow for means of egress. The controls for this egress lighting cannot be accessible to the general public, and the area they control must be designated as a means of egress on building plans. Next, we'll discuss the necessary compliance documents for a project with manual area controls. During the design phase of the project, manual area controls must be documented on the Certificate of Compliance Form NRCC-LTI-E in Section H. After installation, compliance is documented on the Certificate of Installation Form NRCI-LTI-01-E. Manual area controls are not directly called out, but the form must show compliance with the lighting control requirements in general. Acceptance testing is not required for manual area controls unless the device also provides another form of control that requires testing. An example of this would be a wall-mounted on-off switch with an integrated occupancy sensor, as this device requires acceptance testing to ensure compliance with the automatic shut-off control requirements contained in Section 130.1c of the Energy Code. Test results for this device type are documented on Certificate of Acceptance Form NRCA-LTI-02-A. All forms are available for download as PDFs on www.energycodeace.com. Note: downloadable certificates of acceptance are for informational purposes only. Actual Certificate of Acceptance forms may only be accessed and submitted by a certified lighting controls acceptance test technician. The submitted forms must have the logo of an Approved Acceptance Test Technician Certification Provider, or ATTCP. Additionally, you can access Energy Code ACE's Virtual Compliance Assistant tool at www.energycodeace.com/2019-forms-ace-tool, which is available to help you fill out the certificates of compliance. Let's review what we've learned. Manual area controls are manual on-off controls that operate lighting in each area separately. Some types of lighting, like accent and general area lighting, must be controlled separately, even if they're in the same space. Manual area controls must be accessible to occupants except in certain space types, and up to 0.2 watts per square foot of lighting is exempt from manual area control requirements if it meets certain requirements related to building egress. That wraps up the non-residential indoor lighting manual area control requirements. For more information, visit the Energy Commission website at energy.ca.gov/ORC.